The combination of these two things is creating a storm in a good way. And what I want to say is that the storm that we're creating together with people that we're going to introduce on stage today is not just an economic storm, it's a social storm, it's a storm of change. So I want to invite two people who are spearheading this process. Nissan Zehevi, who's spearheading our Galilee Center. From Kibbutz Kfar Giladi, right next to Kiryat Shmona, on the border of Lebanon. When he wakes up in the morning, Hezbollah looks at him in a magnifying glass. And Omer Givati, who is the leader of our social project, Bakehila, which in the last 20 years reached 55,000 underprivileged kids. First in Jerusalem, Jews and Arabs, but now across the country. Please.
Thank you, Ariel, for this exciting awarding that actually emphasized the bold and the unique impact investment model that we create in the Galilee. In the past 6 years, we leading the economic development effort of the entire region in the Galilee and position it as a new center of excellence in Israel, focusing on food tech and ag tech. We did it based on a public-private partnership and create a thriving ecosystem combining academia, industry, municipalities, entrepreneurs, and research institute all together. After we built this interesting ecosystem, we understood that our next challenge is to build an iconic physical place, a food tech center that could be a platform for dozens of startups that are located in the Galilee, a very decentralized area. Inside our food tech center, we are operating one of the most interesting startup programs, Studio-GALIL, and in the past 2 years, we established more than 30 companies that create more than 500 new jobs with high salaries in the northmost periphery of Israel, and this is part of the social impact that Ariel just mentioned. In addition to the social benefit, it also creates an active funnel for us at JVP, and by identifying new opportunities for investment. And I would like to call 3 of these groundbreaking companies came all the way from the Galilee. First, Dana Yarden, the co-founder of BioBetter, Danny Weiss, the CEO of Wonder Veggies, and Yasmin Ravid, our co-founder and CEO of Kinoko, that will show you a glimpse of what we are doing in Israel.
Thank you, Nissan. Thank you, the JVP team. Let me tell you a story. $300,000 for a hamburger. Really? Yes. That was the cost of the first hamburger that was produced in a lab outside of the animal body. $300,000, 10 years ago. Why? Let's call it from now on cultivated meat. Okay? Cultivated meat means meat that you grow from cells outside of the animal body. Why? Why do people even bother to try to make meat without the animal, a real meat? Well, we know that it's not sustainable anymore to grow animals for the meat industry. 25% of our water, 45% of our land, major problem. And we have wonderful solutions. You all tasted it. Plant-based protein. But people still want to eat meat, so we have to provide meat. And this is why almost 100 companies were established in the recent years just to make cultivated meat, different kinds of meat. Well, how come we don't see it? Not in the supermarket, not in the most expensive restaurant. Still, 10 years later, we travel to space, but a piece of meat made outside of the animal still costs thousands of dollars. Why? I'll tell you why. Our body, the animal body, is very sophisticated. We cannot just grow cells in a lab. We need smart proteins. From now on, I will call it growth factors. This protein calls growth factors. This is the ingredients the cultivated meat industry needs in order to grow meat outside of the animal body. So why? What is the problem? We produce today growth factors, but we produce it for the pharma, for research. They are very expensive, and they are not enough for high volume for the food industry. The food industry is different. And they constitute up to 85% of the production of cultivated meat. So it's a problem, right? I'll give you an example. Insulin. Insulin is not only a medicine, it's a growth factor. This growth factor is made, it's not the most expensive one, but it should be reduced 40-fold from the cost today. And more than that, in order to gain 10% of the traditional meat market, we need to double the production capacity. It means 17,000 tons of insulin per year. The current technologies cannot cope with that. And here, we are getting into the game. BioBetter. Imagine, as Ariel said, fields of tobacco in the north of Israel. Tobacco. Why tobacco? We use tobacco as small factories. We use tobacco as bioreactors. Yes, it sounds like science fiction, but that's what we are doing. We program the seeds of the tobacco, we enter the code to make the insulin, to make a variety of growth factors. We put the seeds in the ground, we put water, air and sun, and the tobacco grow, and together with it, the insulin and the other growth factors. That's what we are doing in the Galilee. In the fertile land of Israel, we are going to produce the proteins that are going to make the cultivated meat a reality. Affordable, accessible, that's what we are going to do in Israel. Thank you.
Danny.
Thank you, Nissan, and Ariel, and the entire JVP team. It's a real pleasure and privilege to be here today. Well, what is that doing here? Imagine that you can enjoy all the benefits of healthy probiotics while eating your lettuce, your sprouts, your cucumber, your tomato, your pepper, your salad. Probiotics are beneficial bacteria having multiple properties. They can strengthen your immune system. They can reduce all types of effects. They can help you to keep your heart healthy. They can improve certain mental health condition, and even help in assisting controlling your weight. But consumption opportunities are very limited. Dairy products, fermented food, and food supplements all have multiple limitations compared to fresh vegetables and fruits that we all eat. We are addressing a $60 billion probiotic market, projected to grow to $90 billion in 2026, and developing the first platform technology and seed coating, enabling to grow fresh vegetables and fruits rich with probiotics, while addressing 3 of the agri-food mega trends: the plant-based food, the functional food, and the gut health. We are very passionate about developing the next generation of vegetables and fruits, supporting better health and wellness for all of us, and invite you all to come join our journey. Thank you very much.
Bravo. Thank you, Danny.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jasmine. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Kinokotech. You all, I hope, ate all of our amazing products now during lunch. We've been going around with them. And like Dana said, it's quite simple. The amazing food that you just had for lunch, by 2050, we're going to need 2.5 planets in order to continue eating like that. So we have less than 30 years to either find 1.5 new planets, good luck to us with that, or to change the way we eat, right? So let's change the way we eat. And until cultivated meat is commercially available, we have a solution right now, because we are now growing in Israel a new natural biological way to grow products that have the same nutritional value as meat. You ate them, they taste amazing, they have amazing texture, They are growing in 4 days. They are basically fungi, mushroom grown on top of lentils and grains. And they simply, in a completely natural way, create for you the texture, the taste, the nutritional value. So you don't need to do any kind of processing. It's a completely healthy and natural solution. We are already in the final stages of signing a commercial agreement with a company in Israel. It's completely sustainable. It uses 99% less land and water than growing animals and produce 99% less CO2 emissions. And it's affordable. We can grow it anywhere around the world, and at a price that can be relevant for anyone around the world, opening up new markets outside of just developing countries. So while everyone else are producing more food, we are growing the food of the future. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So these groundbreaking companies was established in our unique holistic ecosystem that we create, but not only from the technological perspective, but also from a social one. To support the rise of this startup, we establish communities that you can see some of them on the screens. For example, Galiladies is the first female entrepreneur community in the Galilee, more than 600 female entrepreneurs from the Druze village, from the kibbutzim, from the cities, combining together. We are also have one of the biggest small business community in Israel with more than 300 small business from the Galilee, and we are aiming to connect them to the new story that we create in the Galilee. And art and culture event every month. We are operating events with thousands of participants, and it's a great pleasure to lead this. Erel, thank you again for the support that you giving us to in the northmost part of Israel to do big things, exactly like JVP know how to do. And I would like to invite my partner, Omer Givati, the CEO of the social organization City-GALIL. Omer, please.
Thank you, Nissan. Israel known as a startup nation, and Erel mentioned it before. We're leading in innovation, #1 out of the OECD innovation. However, we're also fourth when it comes to poverty among children. Well, we must close this gap. So 20 years ago, Erel and Debbie founded City-GALIL in the community, a nonprofit organization that wants to reduce the inequality among at-risk youth and children in the peripheries of Israel, social periphery and geographic periphery. Every year, we handpick 60 volunteers, 18 years old who just graduate high school, who postponed their army service in 1 year in order to volunteer in the community. Those volunteers are spread all over Israel, working in underprivileged neighborhoods, working with the kids, underprivileged kids, working with them in schools on their social, on their academic, on their emotional. In the afternoon, we have learning centers. We have community events, extra curriculum with the community center, everything in order to push those kids up. Over the years, we had 50,000 kids. 50,000 kids that, thanks to our job, graduate from high school, pass the matriculation exam, with the help of over 900 volunteers over the 20 years. Now imagine the impact that we have on the kids, their families, and the neighborhoods and the communities they're living. Now, what started 20 years ago in Jerusalem, now working nationwide. We're working all over Israel. However, our most exciting location is in the Galilee, in Kiryat Shmona. Thanks to Nissan and his amazing team, really amazing team, and Sarit, we were able, they deserve it. We were able to bring food tech education to the region. Now every school, every classroom, every child in the region now learn about food tech, learn about innovation. A few years ago, words like innovation, food tech, entrepreneurship used to belong to the strong students, to students who came with a strong background or the excellent students. Our job is to bring this language to all the kids in the region, because every child, no matter where he grew up or where she grew up, deserve an equal opportunity. So we do it but the magic doesn't happen only in school. It happens only also in the Margalit Startup City Center in the Galilee, where every child come and learn, experience, taste what is food tech. We have our JVP portfolio companies, such as Tetaray, Centrical, LeadSpace, adopting the schools and going to teach the kids about innovation, teach the kids about technology, but not only, they inviting them into their offices. Now imagine some of those kids never left their neighborhood, never left their city, and suddenly coming to an office, a high-tech office in Israel, their eyes go big. Suddenly they have role models. They say to themselves, I want to be like this when I grow up. We enable them to dream. So I have to say, Nissan, you're doing, and your team, amazing job. Thank you so much. The staff of JVP for the ongoing support. Bakehila staff, and of course, Erel, that your vision was and still remain to create a reality where every child can write and design their own future. So thank you for fighting this, for this vision.
And now, to give this award, I want to invite a few people. I want to invite Sagi Kedem, who and Elisheva. Sagi was building the actual building. He's from the real estate team. I want to invite Shimrit Kenning and Rinat Remler, who are the COO and the CFO of our organization and are putting these things together. I want to invite Michael and Mitch from the JNF, who've been part of the support of this thing. Oh, and I want to recognize Michael Zussman, who is on the Zoom, who actually invested in the building with us. You're going to make a lot of money, Mike, because he wanted to donate. And when I was leaving the parliament, I said, oh, all these donations, let's just invest in a few buildings and build them. So, do you mind investing and not donating so you can have equity? He said, yeah, sure. So you're going to make money, Michael, but look at what you did. So thank you. And I also want to invite those JVP partners that have been helping so much. Please, the partners of JVP, I want you to come. Each one of you is helping in so many ways. Michal, Ricky, Bo, Michal, Bo. And so my father was the first community, matnas, community center leader in the Galilee. My mother, Miki, was the first teacher and principal in the Galilee. So to their honor, I give this to you guys. Simu Yadayim? Okay, a picture or something. יאללה, הפועל. תודה. ממשיכים, כן?